So hey everybody, let's start with today's topic, which is we are going to study 5 different ways or methods to create vectors. The first in the list is by the use of concatenation. So the word concatenation means combining. Now the syntax of this method is vector name. First we are going to write the name of the vector, and then this is followed by a symbol which you can see as a back arrow. So this back arrow consists of two symbols. The first portion of this is less than symbol, and after that we have a hyphen. So this symbol in our language or our programming language is called assignment operator or assignment symbol. Now after that we have this, I can say lowercase c. Now remember not to use uppercase letter C. Why? Because R is a case sensitive language. So after that we have in bracket we're going to write elements which we are going to store in this vector, and those elements need to be separated by commas, right? So now the thing here to be noticed is that the assignment symbol that we just talked of here can be replaced by equal to at almost all the time, except some few which we are not going to deal in this video. So now let's see the example by using this method, the concatenation. So example is fruit stop name. This is the name of my vector, which is going to store the values apple, grapes and mango. Now here is an error. Why? Because these values that we're going to store in fruits name are string type of values, or I can say character type of values. So these values need to be enclosed within single or double quotes, right? So I'm going to enclose these in double quotes. So now let's try to run this thing in the RStudio. So yeah. So I've already created the command. So now let me select this one. I'm clicking on this one, and now click on this run. So yeah, see here in this window. So the vector with the name fruit stop name is created, which is containing 3 values. Now the thing that we create here, the object that we create here, is visible in this global window or the global environment window. So we have created a vector fruits name which is of character type, which contains 3 elements, and those are apple, grapes and mango, right? So this was the first way to create a vector. Now next, let's see the next way to create vector. So next one is this by the use of colon operator. So we clearly know what a colon operator is. That's this symbol, 2 dots, right? So this generally create a vector holding sequence of integer type data. So yeah, if you're going to create some integer type of data, or you can say you're going to create a vector that should store integer type of data, then yeah, this colon operator is surely going to help you. So the similar way, if you're going to print some consecutive letters of English alphabet, then again we can use colon operator. We'll see how we are to use this. So yeah, so see the first syntax, that's vector name equal to. So in this method we are not supposed to use C, right? So it's simple, vector name equals from means the position from where you want to start, and then colon operator, and after that 2 means the value till you want to go. Similarly, if we say vector name equals letters in square brackets from colon 2, it would mean you're going to create a vector which should store elements from the letters of English alphabets, treating small a as first, small b as second letter, and so on up to small z as 26th letter. So let's see the examples. The first is a equals -2 colon 4. So as expected, it will generate a vector named a. So this a we have taken as the name of the vector. So this will store elements -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the example of this one is, so this time I'll create a vector ing with letters 2:5. That means this will create a vector, that's vector, with elements B, C, D, E. So since A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, and E is 5, so it's going to start from B. Since we have given here the number 2 to 5, so it's B, C, D, E, right? Yeah, let's first see how these examples work. So this one, so see, A is created with the values -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, if I said this, let's run it. Yeah, so see, ing vector is created with the character values B, C, D, E. Now let's move to the next method. So the third method is using vector function. So vector vector function, right? So the syntax of this is vector name equals vector empty brackets. So this will create an empty vector in which we can store the values later on. Yeah, so the next is vector name equals vector. So inside that vector we can specify the data type of the elements that we want to store in our vector. And the next syntax under this category is vector name equals vector in brackets. Along with writing data type, we can also specify the length of vector that we want to create. Right? So this will create a trivial, you can say trivial vector of that data type. So these are different for different data types. Suppose if you create a logical vector, so if you write vector in brackets logical comma length equal 3, it will create a vector with the values false, false, false. So these are similar. There are trivial vectors for the other data types as well. Next, let's see the examples. So these are few examples. So let's see how they work in R. So yeah. So next is A equals vector empty. Let's run it. Yeah. So see. Now here, one thing to be noticed is earlier I created a vector A with the values -2 colon 4 means -2 to 4 integer values. But now I created a vector with the same name and that is empty. So what it does is it overwrites the previous vector, right? So if we already created a vector with a name and afterwards we are using the same name to creating another vector, then it will consider the latest thing that we just entered, right? So similarly, next is B equals vector. Inside that we have data type character. So yeah, see, B is character but it's empty. Similarly, C, let's see the C vector. So yeah, so now here the thing to be noticed is we created a logical vector with length equals 5. So just create a logical vector with the trivial values that is false, 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 false. So next, let's move on to the fourth method, that is by using sequence function. So seq is sequence function. So the syntax is vector name equals sequence from comma to. So we already know what these from and to mean. So the thing to be noticed here is that we, instead of using colon operator inside the sequence function, we separate the words from and to by the comma. Right? Similarly, next is from to gap. We'll see what's the exact meaning of this gap. The last one is the vector name equals sequence 2. So here we just need to specify that a place up to which we want to go, and it will start automatically from 1 and generate an integer type of vector. So the sequence function almost works as a colon operator. So a few examples are these mentioned here. So let's see how they work in R. Yeah, so the seventh one, yeah, that's fine. So the x vector with the values -1 to 5 integer values. is created. Similarly, let's see 8. So this is kind of interesting. Yeah. So now it is going to create a vector with the integer values starting from 1 till 10, but to be separated by 3. That means this vector is going to store the elements of integer form with distance between two consecutive integers to be of 3. That means it will create a vector of values 1, 4, 7, 10. How? Now see, 4 minus 1 is 3. Similarly, 7 minus 4 is 3 and 10 minus 7 is also 3. So this way it works. Next is x equals sequence 7. So let's run it here. It again overwrites the previous thing, and now x vector with integer value starting from 1 to 7 is created. Okay, so let's move to the last method of this topic. That's by using NULL, this value. So the syntax is very simple. So vector name equals capital NULL or NULL in uppercase letters. So this will create a null vector later on. Similarly, just as we done in vector, we can also later on assign the values in this vector. So example is, so the vector name is BEC equals NULL. So let's see how it works in R. So yeah, let's find. Yeah, so see, a vector with the name VEC is created whose value is null. Null means something that is unavailable, unassigned. Yeah, so this was all about this video. Thank you. I hope you guys like this.